before the world knew kings, before pyramids touched the sky, before any empire dreamed of ruling the earth, there was a land where humanity first dared to build a future. A land both blessed and cursed. A land where creation and destruction walk side by side. This is the forgotten, heartbreaking, magnificent story of Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, and the stage of humanity's earliest triumphs and deepest tragedies. Mesopotamia began with a miracle. Between the twin rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates, ancient settlers discovered soil so rich and dark that anything planted in it seemed to leap toward the sun. The rivers overflowed every year, spreading life across the plains. To the early farmers, this felt like a divine promise. Stay here, and the earth will feed you, but every promise has a shadow. The same rivers that fed Mesopotamia could rise without warning, turning calm waters into raging walls of destruction. Entire villages disappeared in a single night. Families returned to nothing but mud, shattered homes, and silence. These floods were so violent, so unforgettable, that centuries later they were immortalized in clay tablet stories that may have inspired the great flood myths found in multiple cultures, from the tale of Utnapishtim in Gilgamesh to the later echoes in the story of Noah. Yet the ancient people stayed. Pain did not break them, it sharpened them. With courage carved from hardship, they built the world's first irrigation canals, taming the rivers with engineering brilliance millennia ahead of their time. Small mud-brick villages expanded into bustling cities whose names still whisper through the ruins of history: Eridu, Uruk, Lagash, Nippur. In Uruk, life thrived like nowhere else on earth. Traders shouted through the markets, artisans hammered bronze tools, and potters spun clay into elegant vessels. Priests climbed massive ziggurats, towering temples of sun-baked brick, to offer prayers, sacrifices, and messages to the gods who watched from the heavens. For the first time, humanity was not simply surviving in nature. Humanity was shaping nature, creating order from chaos, creating civilization. Then came an invention so revolutionary that it changed the destiny of our species forever. Around 3400 BCE, Sumerian scribes pressed wedge-shaped marks into wet clay. The world's first written language, cuneiform, was born. With writing came power, the power to record harvest, track trade, write laws, preserve stories, measure time, and build kingdoms. Through these clay tablets, the ancient voices of Mesopotamia still speak to us. Most powerful among them is the Epic of Gilgamesh, humanity's first great story. In it, kings cry like children, heroes fear death, and friends are lost forever. It reveals something profound. Mesopotamians were not just inventors and builders. They were human, full of love, grief, hope, mistakes, and longing. But the tragedies of Mesopotamia were not just written into stories. They were carved into the land itself. Around 2200 BCE, catastrophe struck. A massive drought swept across the region. Crops withered, rivers shrank. Entire cities starved. The mighty Akkadian Empire, once unstoppable under Sargon the Great, collapsed in less than a century. Archaeologists have uncovered abandoned settlements swallowed by dust, cracked farmland, and desperate inscriptions where kings begged the gods for rain. It was one of the earliest recorded climate disasters in human history. Even when nature calmed, war took its place as the next destroyer. The Assyrians, powerful, disciplined, terrifying, and battle-built, an empire forged with iron and unbroken will. They conquered lands from Egypt to Anatolia, perfecting siege warfare. But even the strongest empire has a breaking point. Rebellion swallowed their cities, enemies stormed their capitals. Fire, vengeance, and collapse erased what seemed eternal. From this ashes rose Babylon, a city of dazzling beauty. Under Hammurabi, Babylon flourished with order and justice. His law code, one of the earliest and most complete in the world, laid the foundation for legal systems that still shape societies today, but Babylon too suffered the fate of all great cities. In 689 BCE, the Assyrian king Sennacherib unleashed devastation upon it. Temples were smashed, the ziggurat was burned, and the city, once the jewel of Mesopotamia, fell into ruins. Still, somehow, Mesopotamia always found a way to rise again. City after city fell, but civilization continued. New rulers came. New cultures formed. Yet the rivers shifted, the farmlands dried, trade routes changed, wars intensified, and the ancient heart of the region slowly stopped beating. By the time centuries passed, the world forgot the cities that once defined humanity, but their legacy never died. Every written word, every law, every map, every city grid, every library, every dream of human achievement carries the fingerprints of Mesopotamia. Their triumph shaped our progress. Their tragedy shaped our wisdom. Mesopotamia was not just the beginning of civilization, it was the beginning of the human story itself.